Another Oreo taste test. Could be a bad idea, but I don't really care. I'm not sure that's a great combination, but oh yeah, it's still not quite right. I wouldn't eat it again, I wouldn't make it again. Welcome back to the latest Freakin' 2 food review. On today's menu, we got pie and coffee, that's right. But it's not just regular pie or coffee, it's Oreos that taste like pie and coffee that tastes like a Snickers bar. Let's get started with the first item, the Oreo apple pie a la mode that I tested yesterday. All right, it is time for yet another Oreo taste test. Today we've got the Oreo apple pie a la mode. Right here it says apple pie and vanilla cream flavor. It's also a limited edition release. I mean, the few reviews I've seen for this online are pretty good. And Oreo's been kind of on a tear lately. They have some pretty good flavors. So let's see how this one can stack up against the rest of them. They just had the blueberry pie recently. That one's pretty good. Will this one be better? Let's find out. Although I don't have a blueberry to compare it to. First glance, looks like the golden Oreos. Let's take one out of here. Oh, that smells like apple. That's an apple scent to it. Not bad, not bad really at all. Now the cream is not the same as the golden Oreo there. It's the same color as the cookie. It kind of blends right into it. So I'm really supposed to be tasting apple pie and vanilla cream. That should be it. So here we go. First taste. Second taste. That's a good flavor. You can taste the apple. The vanilla's kind of in the back. The vanilla's kind of waiting in the wings behind the apple, but the apple's there. The apple flavor kind of starts off in the middle and then just works its way up to the very top of the ranks. It's a very pleasant flavor. But how close is it really to apple pie a la mode? Let's find out. This is the test right here. I have an actual warm slice of apple pie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. In other words, apple pie a la mode. How does this compare? We shall see. Let's grab a couple of these out of here. All right, let me take a bite of this apple pie as a baseline here. Make sure I get a little bit of everything on this bite. I got some crust, some apple, and some ice cream. Let me try that again for educational purposes. All right, now back into the Oreo. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Let me taste the individual elements here. I'm gonna taste just some of the cookie. The cookie is kind of reminiscent of this pie crust here. Pie crust. It's close. Yeah, it's close. I'm not sure if putting Oreo in here is a good idea. It's probably got to gum it up, but I'm going to try it anyways. I'll put a couple of them in here. Could be a bad idea, but I don't really care. Here we go. Oh yeah. That's right. Maybe it wasn't a bad idea. What happens if we take these crumbled up Oreo apple pie and put them on top of some vanilla ice cream? That could be pretty good. We shall see. Wow. Let me go back into this apple pie again. Wow, they totally nailed it. They totally nailed it. Let me go through the cycle here. Plain Oreo. The Oreo on vanilla ice cream. Apple pie a la mode. Well, as far as I can tell, they nailed it. It's very close. Obviously, there's a texture difference when you have an apple pie a la mode. You actually have a bit of crunch of apple. Some people may not like that texture. Some people may not like biting an apple into a pie. In that case, this is almost better. And this is even closer. So, Oreo, you did it again. Nice job on this one. I think that if you like apple pie, I think for fans of apple pie and even those who don't like it, this is definitely worth trying out. And as always, that's not a sponsored or paid opinion. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. I would say I would wash that down with some coffee, but that was yesterday. Hopefully I've had something to drink since then. But next up we have this Snickers iced coffee. That's right. I ran across this in the store and I'm like, I gotta try it. I love Snickers, I love iced coffee. It sounds like a match made in heaven. But sometimes these match made in heaven don't go so well. So naturally I'm going to try it against a actual Snickers bar, and we'll try some other things as well. But let's just crack this open and give it a quick taste and compare it to a Snickers bar before we get too ahead of ourselves. Let's give it a little sniff here. It smells nutty, it smells peanutty. It smells like coffee and peanuts. I'm not sure that's a great combination, but maybe it will be. Let's see. Here we go, first taste. Well, I mean, it's very sweet. There's certainly a nutty flavor to it. I'm not sure if I really get Snickers. I don't know if I get caramel. I don't know if I really get chocolate. It's more like a peanut butter coffee. Let me try that one again. I'm getting more peanut butter coffee. I'm getting peanut butter coffee, not Snickers coffee. But let's break out the big guns here. By the way, if you eat this entire thing, there's 2 servings in here, 220 calories. Eat one of these, 440 calories. That's your entire lunch calories right there. All right, let's go back and forth here and see what we got. Once again, back into this. Nothing like There's kind of like almost like a burnt peanut flavor, like a smoky flavor to it. I don't think it resembles Snickers at all. I don't think there's any resemblance whatsoever. They could have called this Skippy peanut butter coffee and I probably would have been more convinced. But let's keep going here now. I got some regular iced coffee here. I couldn't find this brand in just a non-flavored version, so I picked the best alternative here, which is the Starbucks. What happens if I take a swig of this and a bite of this at the same time? That should be what a Snickers iced coffee tastes like. I'll take a bite and then a swig. So I think combining these two together and thinking about what this is missing, doesn't seem to have the chocolate or the caramel. It just seems to have the peanuts. Let's try it one more time. Now back to this one. You know, that kind of burnt peanut smokiness is a little bit distracting on this one. When I compare the two, it's not quite as bad as I first thought, but it's still not quite right. It's not quite right. It's more like a burnt peanut iced coffee. But let's try something else now. If we cut up the rest of this Snicker bar here, just a little bit, add some coffee to it, and see what we got. By the way, that's not a good idea to put that so close to your ears. Now that one's ringing. Try my Snickers concoction in here. Now this is truly Snickers iced coffee because I have a Snickers blended into an iced coffee. Let's compare the two of these again. The store-bought Snickers iced coffee. Burnt peanut iced coffee. Let's try my concoction now. Much different, completely different. The one that I did was more balanced. There you can taste the chocolate, the caramel, and the peanuts, not just the peanuts, so I don't know. It's not bad. I wouldn't have it again. I don't even think I would mix these two together. They just don't belong together. It's cool novelty, but I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't eat it again, I wouldn't make it again. But that's all I've got. If you've tried either one of these products, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.